Hope everybody's doing well. This is Scott from Enduro America. So I wanted to give you guys a little breakdown of our Husqvarna FE501 project that I've been working on. I've actually had the opportunity to go out and race this. It was not successful. I ended up crashing out about 2 miles in, which totally sucked. But the bike was okay, so that was good. My body will recover eventually. But to start off with here, this bike started out as a standard FE501 Husqvarna. It was a dual sport bike. It had a headlight, tail light, blinkers, all that good stuff. And we decided, what the heck, we're going to take it off of there and kind of play around with it a little bit. So what I've done is strip this bike down. I've taken all of the emissions off of it. I've taken anything and everything that I don't need, except if you notice this, except for the horn. I don't know if you can see it in there. I left the horn on there just so you can mess with people and honk at them. But so we started out, we put some tubeless on the front and the rear. Kenda hooked us up with some tires, which I'll tell you what, these are some pretty awesome tires that these guys are putting out nowadays. The Kenda Southwick 2s on the front and the Ibex on the rear. If you guys are unfamiliar with the Ibex tire, you have to check this out. They are so gummy. They're almost like a Trials. They're actually, I think it flexes more than my Trials tires do. If you can see that. And they just grip. They grip on everything, any type of surface that you're on. That Ibex tire has been fantastic. So I did the pre-ride on this tire, and you can actually, I've put about 40 miles on it total, and you can still see the little nub deals on here. So I don't know if the tire maybe flexes a little bit more, and that has an effect on how long it'll last. So I think it's actually going to be a pretty lasting tire. I stuck it on my other enduro bike too, so I'm kind of curious to try it out. But anyway, so we pulled the stock suspension off. We went with the Öhlins RXF48 forks, which were new for 2018. Some badass forks. And then also on the back we did the Öhlins Flow Shock, which is a pretty cool setup. The suspension on this thing for high speed, really rough terrain is amazing. I mean, I don't know that I've even bottomed it out. And I've hit some stuff pretty dang hard, even in the pre-ride before that race. And it just doesn't seem like it bottoms on the front. The back, I probably hit the fender a couple times, which we can verify. I'm pretty sure that tire, that's a pretty big lugs on the tire too. Oh yeah, she's got a couple teeny little marks up there. So it's probably rubbed a little bit. But again, removed all the emissions. We put a Vortex ECU in here, and then the FMF titanium exhaust setup. And I gotta say, it sounds quite cliche when people say, oh, it's a completely different machine. But I'll tell you what, with that Vortex and that FMF in there, it really is a completely different bike. The tunability of it, there's 10 different settings on there. You can even amp it up to where it's advancing the ignition timing 1 degree. And I think it'll actually go 2 degrees if you go to number 6 or 7 on the settings. And let me tell you guys, this bike already has plenty of power, and it's kind of like Captain Insano out of control wildness. It's unbelievable with that Vortex in there. I mean, I couldn't believe the difference that it made. So AOMC hooked us up with the rear guard here. CNC machine, little piece of aluminum there. Pretty heavy duty stuff. We've got those on a couple different bikes. Again, I've put them on a few bikes that we've had in the shop here too. And I've never seen one break. I've never seen one really take any major damage. A little bit bigger, a Kirby's fuel tank on here for desert racing. I don't know that it was necessary because this bike is so efficient to begin with. And then we also did the neck and SFS triple clamp setup, which you can see in there, those 2 little posts. That actually gives you 10 millimeters of additional suspension travel for your handlebars. So they say it's supposed to reduce arm pump. And I know Ryan Dungey used them on his Supercross bike that he won so over many years on. And so if they're good enough for Ryan Dungey, they're definitely good enough for me. Kind of getting around to the other side, we did a seat concept seat. And then the Super Sprox rear sprocket, we went up to 51 tooth on the back. We left the stock 14 tooth on the front. And then I had a set of the Fastaway foot pegs on here, and I actually just went back to the stock foot pegs because I pulled those off and stuck them on our KTM project bike. Because unfortunately this machine is going to get turned back into a dual sport bike. and used for BDR trips and stuff like that instead of racing after my big injury. But that's the bike. If you guys have any questions, comments, if you like the video, please give it a thumbs up. We'd love to see you subscribe to our channel. We're trying to kind of build the channel a little bit. I think we have about 220 subscribers. And like I say, we'd like to get more. We're going to have a bunch of really cool ride videos. We've got a moto van video coming up, some tech tips for cleaning your air filter. And then you're definitely going to want to stay tuned for our KTM video that we have. We're building up a 2018 6 days edition, and it's totally custom. There's nothing on it that's really going to be left in stock form other than the chassis, engine, and swing arm. Everything else is pretty much getting changed out and replaced on that bike. But again, this is our Husqvarna FE501. If you guys have an FE501 right now, I think it's probably the best bike on the market. I mean, for versatility and what you can do with this thing. But if you don't have one and you're interested in one, don't wait. Go out and buy one, because trust me, you will not regret this motorcycle. It is phenomenal. Again, any questions, comments, feedback, leave it below. And I look forward to hopefully having you guys watch a couple of our other videos.